is shifting right now. Oh, I have to put got it.
I was going to say, I recently watched a TED talk
Mhm.
about urine therapy. I'm wondering if you've seen it. Um, but it was an Indian fellow talking about how in the Indian tradition, um, urine drinking, especially for young kids, has been practiced, and it sort of has fallen out of practice. And he talked about the great medical benefits of it as well.
Are you
Have
saying
you
he
seen
said the kids aren't practicing or not practicing it?
that? He said they used to, but not anymore.
Okay. Well, I'd like to find out where he gets his information, but in the United States, I get more and more feedback and testimonials from people who have their 8-year-old, 10-year-old, 5-year-old, 12-year-old all drinking and participating in their own urine practices.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it looks like it was a guy named Pritam Podar. I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong, but
Is this the
yeah,
TED
TED
talk?
Albany talk. Can your urine help you?
Yeah, it's a
Um,
really interesting TED talk.
yeah,
Yeah,
and he
I
talks.
think I might have seen it. It was several years ago. It's not a recent
Mhm.
one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's from 2018.
Well, I've watched the movement since I jumped on social media platforms all over the place and was watching how the paradigm is shifting. I mean, we're about to tip the tipping point. One of my colleagues, Doc Mike Whitford out in Chicago, who's been doing urine therapy for 22 years, he came up with statistics that state that we have over 500 million people in the world and over 50 nations practicing urine therapy. So that's got some energetic momentum behind it. And meanwhile,
Wow.
over the last 3 years, you have high profile naturopaths and doctors like Dr. Edward Group out in Houston and David Wolf and Jonathan Otto. And these guys are lending their name, and even Dr. Artis knows about it. They're lending their name to urine therapy without concern about risk of their practice or being taken out.
Wow.
Interesting.
And have there been people, in the past who have lost their medical license possibly for promoting this idea?
If there is, I'm unaware of it.
Okay, that's good at least.
There was one of the loudest voices in urine therapy. You might have heard of Andrew Norton Weber.
I
He
have
talked a
not.
lot about, have you?
No.
No.
He talked a lot about, I mean, you can Google him anytime, Andrew Norton Weber. His website was Aquarius Water Bearer. I don't know if it was .com or .org. And he was a very strong advocate of urine therapy, distilled water, and purification of the body. And he gave a lot of talks and he had a lot of videos. And he put together the urine therapy conference in San Diego in 2012. A year
Okay.
later, he dropped out of the scene.
Huh. And you know
Nobody
why?
knows. Nobody knows.
When it came up.
I think he changed his name, faked his death, and moved to Costa Rica. Who knows? He's smart. He would.
Brother, I think you should start a TikTok to promote urine therapy. I think it would do well because TikTok is, I'm sure you've heard of it, one of the newer social media platforms.
Mhm.
But it pushes you out to thousands of people. It's easier to grow a platform through it. And
Mhm.
I think you could do cool informational videos. I'd be curious. I bet if you started one, you could get a pretty large following pretty quickly. I wouldn't be surprised.
All right. I'll think about it because I'm having to micromanage my time without a staff or assistants. I'm just a one-man show.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
However, I've been fortunate enough, and I'm grateful for that, is some of my students and colleagues across the planet, we're collaborating on several projects together. And so,
Really?
I do have, different circles of teams and quote unquote staff co-creating things together.
Can you speak to any of those projects? What's your next couple of years look like?
Well, the big picture is the reason I came to Kauai, and that was to establish the Purification and Retreat Center of the Pacific. And that would become an oasis for people to refresh their body, mind, and spirit wherever they live, to come and just basically retreat from the way life has been playing out until life becomes a treat for them and they feel good about themselves. They go back to their life.
Right.
All right, so that's a big picture. Sure, I've got urine therapy training calls coming up this month. Your classes and courses and certification, that's coming up. I've got 2 people working on a one-stop shopping store for everything about the Shivambu lifestyle. It's going to be called the Shivambu Lifestyle Store. And so whether you need to have enema bags,
Oh, cool.
neti
What is
pot,
that? Bag.
eye cups, whatever you need, all the protocol items are going to be there, plus supplies. We're also going to have slogans and T-shirts. And one guy is a genius who created holographic Shiva images, and that's going to be on there as well. But that's going to be a one-stop shopping store. So you'll hear about that.
Can you explain some of those things that you just
Yeah, like I've heard of people doing like coffee in enema bags for caffeine, but yeah, I've seen those. But you use yours for urine specifically?
This is your body's best friend. This is an enema bag, silicone rubberish type.
So you put that hose right up your butt?
You're gonna put the tip in your butt.
Yeah, just the tip.
So this holds about 2 quarts. And what you're going
wow.
to do, it depends on everybody's different. Some people want to use fresh, some people want to use evolving, some people dilute it, some people add lemon. I'm not a coffee enema fan, but there is organic coffees that haven't been acid treated available out there.
Interesting. So you actually use urine in the enema.
And then how long do you hold the enema in before you release it?
How long is it to try?
How messy is that? I've never done one, so I'm just curious about
we should do it for your birthday.
Yeah, my birthday's Saturday. So.
let's go get one.
Yeah.
All right, start saving your urine. You got to get the water saved up first of all. It's a simple process, guys. Once you figure out how to stage the area in your bathroom, you're going to look for a shower rack, a towel rack, a doorknob to hang this up, because this has to be higher than you. Right? Okay. You're going to be on the floor on your back with your knees up and lubricate the tip.
Okay.
Make sure the clamp is clamped.
Okay.
All right. Put it where it belongs. Open the clamp. And as this starts emptying inside you, don't think about this so much, but think how it's starting to impact you or feel. And you feel like, oh boy, I can't take it anymore. I can't hold it anymore. Put the clamp, put this back, and hold it as long as you feel like you can. Make sure the toilet's nearby.
That's so funny. I'm a big white water rafter, so we use water filters that look almost similar to enema bags on river trips, except you have a second one to
yeah.
Water in.
Try this. Okay.
Yeah, seems interesting. How quickly do you need to be ready to hit the toilet though?
Probably right away.
Like it all depends. It all depends if the material inside you, the fecal material inside you, is closer to the sigmoid, or whatever it is closer to the exit point of the rectum, you may want to be by the toilet sooner.
So what's the rest of your diet currently looking like? I know the last time we spoke to you, you were eating mostly fruit. Are you still the fruit diet?
Well, I've added more greens, sprouts that I either grow or sunflower greens. Since I live in Kauai, you can get a wealth of coconuts, and avocados, and mangoes, and papayas. A lot of times free if you know neighbors. But
still no meat and pretty limited.
Yeah, I'll have juice throughout the day. Now, some of my influences of how to eat came from back in the 60s when you had people like Norman Walker and Adele Davis and Ann Wigmore, and they were teaching you 1 meal a day, and if you have to do 2 meals a day, don't eat after sundown, quit around 5 or 6, and more that I lean toward is get your 1 meal between 11 and 2, wherever your window is, and the rest of the day have fruit or fast.
Yeah, that's I guess diet is maybe not that exact diet, but that's getting very popular again. The 1 meal a day, I've been seeing a lot of meat only diets that are popular. What do you think of meat only diets? They eat one meal a day and it's usually one big steak, and people claim they feel great, but I'm thinking maybe it's because they're eating the same thing on a schedule, and I know the body likes that.
Yeah.
What do you think of that type of diet?
Well, I know that everything's possible. People can do all kinds of stuff, and the body is either going to be a favorite of it or it's not. This one guy came up to me and he says, "You know what? All I do is raw meat and urine." And he says he has super strength and he runs and he's feeling really good about himself. I said, "Congratulations, good for you. Let's talk in a year." Yeah, yeah. It's hard to say because the defining factors: how's your metabolism, how's your energy, how's your state of mind. I mean, we can transcend a lot of the limitations even on our food journey and our food trip, and that's personal choice for people. It's real easy to find a judgment in there, but it's their call.
Yeah. I wonder, is there anyone who's kind of really that you've taught, maybe they even paid you and you taught them how to do these various urine therapy practices, from eye cupping to foot soaking, and they did not see any benefits? Because I think of like medical marijuana. Like, some people it really helps with social anxiety or sleep, and then other people, like, it could have negative effects on. So I was wondering, is urine like positive for everyone? Does sometimes not do anything? Does sometimes have negative effects on people?
Great question. Even though many consider urine to be a panacea or a cure-all, what it has to contend with is, how are people balancing the rest of their life? Are they eating garbage? Are they not taking care of their emotional well-being? Do they exercise? Do they know how to relax and meditate? Do they do qigong, walk barefoot in the park, get hugs every day? I mean, there's a well-rounded approach to health and wellness that gives you the insurance that you're going to be healthy. And people come up to me and say, "Well, will it help this condition and that condition?" All they're doing is drinking the urine, but they're not changing anything else. So it's going to be hit or miss what kind of results they're going to have. It may just be like a Band-Aid.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people today are looking for that one miracle thing, the one pill that will fix everything, and it just doesn't work like that. Like, I know the celery juice craze is very popular now. People are saying that you just need to drink a glass of celery juice every morning and it will cure anything, everything.
Yeah.
And that sounds sort of similar to how's I guess
idea.
Yeah. But have you heard of the celery craze, the medical medium? He's been promoting.
I've heard of him, and I like the fact that people are doing more vegetable juices. And I think part of the magic, or part of the power of just saying, well, celery juice is magnificent, all those kinds of ways, is the power of believing in it.
Right.
I mean, that's a big part of it. Totally. What if I told people urine therapy works and they didn't believe in it? Will it counter the effect? Right. It helps to put your mind in the right spot.
Yeah, and that has to be I mean, the power of someone doing anything and believing that is healthy.
But then sometimes it doesn't work. What if someone's like, "Here, drink this bottle of vodka. It won't get you drunk. You're still going to get drunk if you drink that."
Well, you never know.
Yeah,
you never know.
Well, you never know. The power of the mind is so powerful that it can create and it can destroy about anything. I wrote an article that was published in 2006. It's floating around, and the title of the article is, "Your Sacred Living Foods, Your Spiritual Path, and Your Urine Therapy Won't Save You from Your Mind." So if unconsciously you hate yourself, you hate life, you're self-destructive, you do negative things, and you're really miserable inside, you'll destroy yourself. It'll suck the joy out of you and you'll die.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And what do you recommend, or what do you practice in terms of, I guess, taking care of your mental health? I know you meditate, but in terms of the things that you just mentioned, internal hatred and guilt and all that stuff that a lot of people walk around with every day. What are little things that the average person can do to sort of start to step away from that?
Well, you can consciously choose thoughts on purpose. You've heard of affirmations.
Mantras.
You know, I'm okay the way I am okay the way I am. People love me for who I am. My presence makes a difference. I make a valuable contribution to my friends and loved ones. You have to pump yourself up.
Yeah.
Because you got nobody who's going to do it for you. Now, over the last year, I found myself, since I've been going down to the beach, I get this crazy voice that comes in my head, and it feels like a Marine sergeant, and he's telling me, "Soldier, you're here to fight. Get back in the." And I'm swimming laps in the ocean. There's this lagoon where it's blocked off with these barrier black big lava rocks, and I'm swimming, and my mind goes, "That's enough. I'm just going to stop." And here comes the voice of the Marine sergeant: "You're not done, soldier. You keep swimming. You've got work to do." And that's kept me in service mode. When people need me, I'll make time. When you guys want me on an interview, I'll make the time, because we're here at All Out Maximum Service to save humanity, and there's really not a lot of time for selfishness and what's in it for me time. So that pushes me.
That's interesting, and we'll do our best to push your message out there too. We have a TikTok. If you don't have time to make one, we can put some good clips out there, and we'll let you know how they do. I feel like a clip of you talking about urine therapy and then drinking urine, I think that would go viral.
I also just like the message you said about how there's not, one cure all for anyone, and it's a multitude of things that actually help you. But yeah, I think you just drink your own urine right there. There's a great clip for TikTok.
Is this backwards?
Nope, it comes up the right way. And then urine therapy does the body good.
Yeah, the reason I point that out there is because I got the copyright on the slogan. And since I got that copyright, I've asked everybody in the worldwide families to put it on stuff and run with it.
Oh, cool. Do you have any t-shirts? I'd love to buy a t-shirt.
I have none in stock. I'd have to make some in Zazzle. I've got like 2 left, one that's baby blue and another one. But it's my personal stash. Yeah. I'm sure we can make them for you.
So you have been in Hawaii since the end of May. What was I know Hawaii just went through a major tragedy. What has it been like being actually on the islands?
He's on Kauai, and Maui is where the fire was.
Right, but has it affected your community, or what's it like being actually there?
Well, you feel the rage, you feel the pain, you feel the loss, you feel the grief that the folks in Lahaina, and there are several other areas in Maui, and the missing children. I mean, they're all the Hawaiian Islands are like family.
Yeah.
And so, there was a lot of outrage, and they discovered that the money wasn't sent through, and the supplies weren't given, and the water was turned off, and everybody got involved over here.
The insane things I've heard about how the government responded before the fire even started, during and after, is shocking. And how they've had talks about repurposing the land. I've heard all sorts of terrible things. Being down there, are all those things true? They really shut off the water. They really talked about repurposing the land. I mean, that's outrageous.
I'll go that much further in a conspiracy conversation, just so you know. We'll get back.
We'd love to hear. Yeah, we love a good conspiracy.
Okay, they did the same thing in other countries, and they did the same thing in Texas. They did the same thing, the Paradise Fire. It's land grabs. They want to take all this, and they want to own the land. They want to turn it into smart cities. They want to basically control the life of everybody on these islands. I mean, there's layers and layers of reasons why that spot at that time, but it was a disaster anyway. Look at it.
And it was just straight up a land grab.
Well, that's part of it, and all the big names who have hundreds and hundreds and thousands of acres there, they got brought up in public too. So we know who you are, Oprah, and all the people who were buying.
Yeah,
Yeah, it kind of connects like to what's going on in Saudi Arabia now too, where they're trying to build the line it's called. Have you heard of that? It's like a
the smart
totally
city.
smart city, and the leader of Saudi Arabia is a brutal dictator, and he's claiming that like he's going to be so environmentally friendly, but they're going to end up having
Oh,
people
is he a
die.
brutal dictator? Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's pretty
We
bad.
don't know where this is headed, but I can tell you, I live on one of the islands where there's a larger majority of true-blooded Hawaiians, second, third generation royalty type blood. They've been talking about getting back the Kingdom of Hawaii for 60 years, and this could be a breaking point where we totally annex from the United States.
well, I mean,
Right.
yeah, Hawaii's had a tragic history, even how they became a state. So yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that must be interesting to be in the thick of it and hear those type of conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you get treated as an outsider there? Because I was in Hawaii once, and like most people were very, very friendly, but then I remember I was actually with my parents who were in their 60s, and we were going on a hike to like a secret waterfall that my mom had just looked up on the internet, and we're hiking and we're walking back there. And then like a native Hawaiian guy comes out, he's like, "What are you white people doing on my sacred land?" And was holding a gun to like me and my
Really?
parents. And we're like,
Wow.
"Oh, we're sorry, like we didn't know, we weren't trying to offend you." And we just turned around and walked away, out
Yeah.
of trying to be respectful. We didn't know it was something we read online. It's a
Mm.
cool
Yeah,
hike.
I'm doing just fine here. You learn to slow down your pace. You don't sound like you're from a city. Uh, you learn to speak from your heart and respect everybody in life here. They'll pick up on it. They're super sensitive,
Mm. Mm.
And so what I started doing, and I'm still doing, is networking. Talk to neighbors, talk to strangers, talk to people at the beach. I'm doing a yoga festival doing reflexology this Saturday. Now, be out there as much as possible. There's only like 73,000 residents here, so a lot of people know each other.
That sounds awesome. I'd love to come visit when you do open up the retreat. What's it going to be called again?
The Purification and Retreat Center of the Pacific.
Okay.
Okay, here's my definition of retreat. People go on retreats, they pull away from their regular life and they go to whatever they're doing. Retreat is basically you retreating from the way you've been treating yourself and other people until life becomes a treat again. And then you go back out into the world, go back to your life.
Right. Do you have an idea of when you're going to be opening this, or is it still just beginning stages?
Well, I'm not in control of the timeline, the money, the details. I'm the vision holder, but I've seen some wonderful property that would be ideal. One that I posted on Facebook about 4 or 5 days ago has 2 houses that they're bent a certain way away from each other. And between the 2 houses, there's 11 bedrooms and 9 bathrooms. And on the other side of the property is a waterfall and a creek. It's on 3 acres. And then I saw another one that's over on the Big Island, though I won't open one in the Big Island, had 8 acres with all its facilities and dormitories and big eating halls. And I'm getting more and more of the visual. I've talked to 2 realtors here in the last week just to tell them what this is the vision. I'm not a guy with the money. I do have a faith-based organization, kind of like a ministry. And they say, well, what is that? I said, well, it has no ties to any government or any corporation. We act on faith and we help other people to find their way. Because there's ministries that aren't connected to governments. Right? You can forget about your 501c garbage. So we're just going that's what we're doing.
Brother Sage, are you tax exempt with your organization being a religion?
Well,
I don't think
it's not even in that arena.
All right.
It's a sovereign entity.
But eventually, if you had land in the United States, they would make you pay property taxes unless if you had a religious status. Like I know out here, the Church of Cannabis became a church to avoid doing that.
Oh, right.
Well, it sounds like an awesome vision, and I hope you guys can make it happen. And I want to, like I said, clip some cool parts of this interview up and put it on TikTok. And TikTok has a large community of alternative healers and supporters. So maybe you'll get some people reaching out to you.
Yeah, I would appreciate that. And here's a really quick way with your help and all podcasters to take it viral, is to simply create a membership and have everybody donate a minimum of $2 to $5 a month, and then spread the net to reach millions of people. So you'll have at least $2 to $5 million every month for operating expenses and advertising and putting out. Now, some of the things we're going to be doing is creating contests. We're going to have a newsletter, and in the contest, people can win a round trip ticket, all expense paid, for 1 week at the retreat.
What would
that'd be great?
Would be like whose urine tastes the best? Like, what would the contest be?
Well, we'll figure that out, but we'll have a membership where we have a newsletter, and people, like, everybody's a co-op owner of the center. I don't own it. The staff doesn't own it. It's going to be the people's center.
You know, I think what would be a great clip is if you maybe took a minute and just gave an introduction of how to get into urine therapy, how, I guess, first steps for someone who's never done it before, what it is, how to do it, and why. Okay. Do you have like a 1 minute pitch?
Elevator.
Yeah, I think that'd be good to clip, put it out there on TikTok.
And then also maybe an elevator pitch for like getting your partner into it, or starting your child out on it as well, I think would be good.
Well, what we're talking about here is ultra-filtered golden blood plasma water that we have been led to believe is called urine. It's actually medicine the body produces by you, for you, to recycle and return back to you. And with over 5,000 plus nutrients, it has the ability to correct any condition in your body, clean out the toxicity in all the organs, and get your brain back online. And so if you'll use it not only orally but topically, you'll get results quite quickly. It really helps, though, to improve the quality of every area of your life, including your diet and your exercise and so forth. You got to have a lifestyle that works with this.
Excellent. That was perfect. And can you show your chalice?
My PP jar?
Yeah.
Chalice.
There it is. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yes, somebody must send me a chalice. Like the Holy Grail, whatever that cup they drink out of.
Like what did Johnny Depp? A mega planet.
Oh, yeah, mega planet. Actually, Brother Sage, I think the last time we spoke with you, you were finishing up a book.
Yeah. I think you finished
Which
it.
book?
Now, yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Was it the original? Was Healing Water from Within?
It was the one after that, I believe.
The next one with a picture of Shiva and Parvati on the cover, called The Manual for Urine Therapy Teachers and Therapists.
Yes. We have the Healing Waters from Within.
Yeah, we don't have the manual though.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, let's get it to you.
Great, we'd appreciate that.
Yeah, that'd be
your
great.
address. Yeah.
Now that can I run and get one real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's right here.
Oh, you got me one?
You good?
Yeah. Yeah. What else should we?
I didn't record right away. It's my own thing.
Oh, it's okay. Oh, beautiful. Manual for Urine Therapy Teachers and Therapists. Wow, that's a beautiful.
This book.
Cup, right, Danny, or Wall Street bitch. Let him know I'm gonna pee into a cup right now. Tomorrow.
He said this book gonna pee into a cup right now, and he's gonna drink it on.
Excellent, maiden voyage. I love maiden voyages.
But sorry, Brother Sage. Continue what you were saying. You're saying this book.
Yeah, this book is also the textbook for the urine therapy courses I teach.
Oh, great.
So people will either have a hard copy, they'll get a PDF version from me, if they live in some far off country and they can't get it from Amazon. But this is the one we're using, and we divide the class up into 5 different classes.
Great. Yeah, definitely check out Healing Waters from Within on Amazon. And that newest book is on Amazon as well?
That book, there's also the handbook version of the Healing Water from Within. I also revised a metaphysical classic, which talks about urine therapy, from my mentor, Leonard Orr. It's called The Secrets of Youthing.
Oh, interesting.
Also put out last year the Piscabulary of Urinisms, so we can learn to have fun laughing at our practice.
Well, I just did it.
Okay.
You did?
Cheers.
Did I try? All right.
Here to
Nice.
Not gonna lie, I don't. The taste, I think, has some room to grow on me.
Okay. Well, next time, try it without anybody watching you.
Okay.
No, that's good. That was
Yeah, do you want to try
pretty
some? Do you
sizable
want to try
go.
some?
I'm gonna use my own. Not
Okay,
yours.
that's fair.
Okay. Here's how to get people started. It's called baby steps. Now, what has happened is, let's go back to 1917. It deserves to be mentioned.
Okay.
We knew about urine therapy. We always knew about urine therapy. In 1917 was the establishment of the Rockefeller Foundation. That's not a new term for you and your viewers. The Rockefellers, they decided they wanted to control healthcare worldwide, right? In order to not have any competition, they started demonizing all the alternatives. One of them was urine therapy.
Interesting. So the demonization of urine therapy started in 1917.
1917, and as much as they've tried, the movement has been growing so much into the figures of millions. It just kept coming back, and then when social media hit it, it just started exploding. Now in 2020, right before COVID hit, I have a nonprofit. My other thing is the nonprofit, the shivambu.org website. We have a social media platform just for the water family. It's called the Shivambu Hut. Well, in 2020, there was only 200 members. Here comes COVID, right? Every year since, 333 new members have enrolled, and now 3.5 years later, there's 2,200 members.
So are you reaching people mostly online?
No. Well, I reach people online either through social media or these kind of interviews. And that spreads through YouTube and that spreads through social media. But I like to take it off the internet and out to the people who will never go online and won't have a chance to hear this. So I've done public presentations at popular malls like in Boulder. We had 35 guests show up and only 3 hecklers. So I've got the Shivambu cojones to go out there. I'm not shy with the subject and talking about it. I've had bumper stickers on my car and had people pull over and go, "You drink your water too? I want to know you."
Oh, wow.
That's great. You know, before we ever interviewed you, I saw you on the news while I was living in Boulder. And it was they talked about your group that met at the library and they interviewed some people.
That's how we found out.
Yeah, that was you, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Channel 7 or Channel 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
Number 7 news, I think.
Channel 9, yeah.
Well, that's great that it's spreading. And I mean, it sounds like in the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to become, you know, a
bigger
movement. Yeah.
Bigger. Now, Channel 7, what is that? CBS, NBC? I forget which affiliate, but they came over to my apartment and they videoed and interviewed myself and one of the board of directors. The scenes were just well laid out. We're doing Qigong in one of the rooms, some kind of like a Tai Chi movement. They scanned the room and looked at all my sacred objects. And then I brought all the protocols out and talked about it, drank it, offered some to them, which for some reason they said no, and went into it, a sort of a mini class. Well, they aired that several months later, and the 99% of it was all about what I was talking about. The last minute, they bring out the doctor to say the bad negative things about it and call us a cult, blah, blah, blah. Well, now 4 years later, what they don't realize is there's like 75,000 views and growing all the time. So it helped the movement.
Yeah, because I don't know if you've ever listened to like Howard Stern or Opie and Anthony, but there's this guy named Dr. Steve, who's like a entertainment or radio doctor. Like he's a real doctor from Tennessee, but he does he has a show on XM called Weird Medicine where he just answers weird questions. So we asked him about you, and he like totally said there's no validity in anything. And then we invited him on the podcast to have a conversation with you, and he refuses to. So we would still
refuses to.
So I'm Dr. Steve. I'm calling you out right now. We would love to have you and Brother Sage talk, and we'll mediate it. You know,
which is interesting because he's a smart guy. He's a doctor, but he's too afraid to debate you, and he won't tell us why. He just doesn't want to. But which is it's interesting.
We're just gonna leave it up to the guessing part.
Yeah, but maybe fingers crossed we can make it happen, because I think that'd just be a great conversation, right? Like,
yes, I would love you to also interview Christopher Key, who goes by the handle of the Vaccine Police.
Okay.
And he came out on the scene big time talking urine therapy is going to heal COVID. Urine therapy is going to change everything, blah, blah, blah. And he was on all these mainstream medias. I think he made it on CNN, ABC, whatever it is. And they're all showing him from their perspective, their narrative, that this guy was a kook.
Oh yeah, I just saw him.
And we've had some great talks, and then recently there is a woman named Gloria Shireen, and I can easily hook you up with her. She came out publicly with the help of Jonathan Otto, and they had a freedom rally out in Texas, and she came publicly and said she healed COVID with urine therapy.
What was her name again?
Gloria Charlene, Sharlein, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, if you could put us in contact with Christopher Key or Dory, that'd be great. We would love you to send us an email or email us both together.
Yeah, shoot me a reminder. I can get you Gloria's Rumble channel.
I'd love to hear because the last time we spoke, COVID had just started. Do you have anything you want to say or any thoughts about what the hell happened over the past 2 years in regards to the messaging that Fauci and the doctors told the American people? Any comment on that at all? I'm assuming that you disagree with the vaccine, and obviously there's better ways to handle.
Well, first of all, it's not a vaccine. Because the germ theory has already been debunked. There's no viruses. I don't know if you heard of terrain theory.
Can you explain that? That's fascinating.
Yeah, they're basically saying that there are die-off effects from our cells, and the body has to process it, and it's oftentimes interpreted as a virus, a germ, bacteria. It's coming from the inside out, not from the outside in. And it's the health of the terrain of the biology or the body that determines your health. Now, I'm not an expert. I didn't go that deep into studying it, but that's going around the internet too, that the germ theory, even Amanda Vollmer out in Canada was agreeing with that. A lot of people are saying, hey, that's another one of the lies they give us.
So the synchronicity of everyone getting sick at the same time, what explains that if there's no external bug?
Well, we are being contaminated from every direction: the air, the water, our soil, EMFs, frequency interrupting our thought patterns. We're being bombarded with things from every possible direction. So it's kind of hard to just say it's one thing or the other. All I know is the people like myself, this is why I love being quiet. The people who are meditating, the people who are putting their attention on the divine and sacredness in life first, are less affected by all these things.
So what do you believe the purpose of the vaccine was? Or I know you said it's not a vaccine. In your thoughts, what was it? What is it?
Depopulation.
Really?
Wow.
I heard an insurance guy who used to determine how long people would live for insurance companies. He said everyone who is vaccinated is not getting access to premium insurances because they know something that we don't. That's what he was saying. His name is Gary Brecka. He's actually a pretty famous nutritionist.
Sure. So here's a question I have for you guys. If, according to Hippocrates in the 1600s or whenever he was around, their oath, the doctors took an oath, and the oath was do no harm, right? So you think if doctors are really sensitive and caring about their clients, about humanity, don't you think they would study alternative healthcare as well and see how the indigenous tribes did it and how people did it long before the doctor showed up on the scene, which is only 200 years ago?
Yeah, especially because all these chronic illnesses are preventable, and they know that. Yet they don't teach or study the things that prevent it.
Yeah, and I think in like 2 weeks we're having on a guy who's starting up a psilocybin MDMA therapy company, and right now, you can't sell it, but you can do consultations and give it away. And so I think you can listen to that episode when that comes out too. But yeah, it's very like a lot of things are hidden from us that we don't know about, and then our trust is being broken, which is a problem in our society, unfortunately.
The thing is, you can't talk poorly about the vaccine or you'll get jumped on and canceled. But that has changed. That has changed. I think
right now we're not on any... Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, the public, I think, is the general public is more accepting of the anti-vax narrative than it used to be.
Well, how many people caught on that babies are born healthy and then they go through vaccines and they go to a doctor and all of a sudden kids have autism and the mongoloid syndromes, and that's unnatural.
There's all these like D1 athletes having like heart problems now who are, in their young 20s, late teens.
LeBron James' stud just had a heart attack.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. You're aware of Robert Kennedy Jr., right? He's running for president. I think his policy, his approach to health is excellent. And it would be great if he got into office. He's got a lot of really amazing pro-health policies that lean towards alternative medicine. So if you haven't listened to some of his health ideas, so I'm voting for him. And when I tell people that, they call me a conspiracy theorist, but
I heard he's making an announcement, I think on October 9th, that he's going to be independent candidate. He's screwed over by the Democratic convention.
Yeah.
I kind of like the neutral approach to politics. And that is, there's one side, there's the other side, they're controlled, they're both sides controlled. And ultimately, politics is entertainment. Politics
is
to sway the citizens of a country to agree with their narrative, agree with their policies, agree with all that. And I gotta take it lightly. That's that way. I'm not on the side of Trump. I'm not on the side of RFK Jr. But what is going to actually, will there be an ethical, honest, transparent human being who's going to take this country back?
Well, speaking of, Colorado politics too, there's just that a video out of Lauren Boebert, who's a congresswoman in the Western District in Colorado. It's a video of her at a Beetlejuice Broadway or like off Broadway play in Denver, and she's on a first date with a guy, and I don't know if she's giving him a hand job or trying to get some urine from him, but it's a pretty funny video to watch. And she got kicked out of the theater for vaping shortly after that, but they like recorded this video of her trying to grab at him.
She's wild. She's wild. Well, brothers,
go ahead.
I know we're coming up on the top of the hour. Is there anything else you want to get out there, say?
The people who are holding back, telling their friends, their loved ones, and their family that urine therapy is the best thing they've ever come across and it's saving their life. Get over it, because the people, we don't have a lot of time to mess around and go, well, they might reject me or judge me, whatever it is. Just plant the seeds, say it. And if you don't say it, give them a copy of one of my books, or just demonstrate what a healthy, radiant being looks like.
I like that.
Saying, Kevin, what are you doing? You've been drinking pee? You look great.
I like that. Demonstrate what a healthy, radiant human being looks like, because that sometimes can be, the most convincing
argument.
To just be healthy.
Yeah. And so the world is ready for this. The movement is all over the place. And like when I came here, I found 5 people who practice urine therapy on this island. And what blew me away is they all knew who I was before I got here. Many of them had copies of my books. I'm going, did I just step into like sainthood? I don't know. And I found 15 people here on the island so far.
Well, I have a family member that's been a fan of you for a while also. So you've got a following. Some of them might be secretive because of the topic, but like you said, it's becoming less taboo, and the more people talk about it, the less taboo it will become, which is the goal.
And we did lose a lot of our original content from when we started the podcast 3 years ago or 4
We have
years
all
ago.
his episodes.
I only was able to find the first one.
Oh, I have the other one.
Okay. I re-uploaded our first interview to our podcast and just says old, and then we're gonna kind of start a new episode count. But just to build some context, if people want to listen back to when our audio quality is just gonna be a lot better now too, in the whole experience.
Yeah, we're working on the setup. We're working on the once we're in our new studio, we'll have to have you back. But we thought having you on would be a great first episode to come back, because
it's our second. We had one, but it was very short. But you're our first guest. We had like 1 30-minute episode. Yeah, so you're our first guest on the revival of the Baptize Machine.
Yeah.
Thank you. So yeah, it's great to be back, and you guys are looking more like a broadcast studio every time.
Great, thanks.
Great, and yeah, we'll make sure to edit this into some cool clips, and I'll send you a link to the TikTok videos that we'll put out there. I think it will inspire you to create your own, because you'll see how many views it gets, and I think it's a great way to get your message out there. So we'll email you some links.
Yeah, we'll probably get this episode up on Spotify, Apple, everything tomorrow, and then the video clips will happen in the next week. Just that takes a little longer.
Do you need any of my links for the description area?
That would be great. Yeah, we can promote all your stuff in the description when we put the podcast on. If you just email all of that to us, we'll get that in there.
Anything you want to promote, and anything you want to promote verbally too. Right now, we can.
Like if you want to shout out your Twitter, Instagram, or anything like that.
Well, I mentioned the Shibambu Lifestyle Store. There's also, if people go to brothersage.com, I recently had a webmaster do a makeover, because I did have no skills in coding and building, and I had my old version up for 15 years, and he brought it to life. So Brother Sage has a whole new look, image, and vibe to it. We're going to bring back the Water Family Directory, which hasn't been reloaded yet. The Water Family Directory is like the Yellow Pages, good pun, the Yellow Pages of urine therapy teachers and therapists around the world, so people could find someone close by for anybody.
Great.
Wow, I see that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And the clips that we have of our old interviews on YouTube are, I think, some of our most popular clips. But great, yeah, the website looks great.
Yeah, it does look great. You got all your awesome.
Great. Well, we should definitely do this again. I'm sorry our setup is a little janky right now, but I appreciate you bearing with us.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, I'll send you the TikTok clips.
Okay.
We should talk in the future.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks again, brother.
You also have my cell phone if you ever want to reach out to me, or if you want to collaborate on something with or without the podcast. There's a lot of ways that we can bring good content and good news to the planet.
Yep.
Yeah. Any ideas you have for us?
There is an approaches to healing course at Naropa University, and there's no mention of urine therapy in it, so I will throw that out there.
Yeah. Well, that's not going to inspire me to go back to Boulder.
No, but it's a remote course. So.
By the way, I'm looking at your evolutionary broadcast studio, because when the Purification Retreat Center comes together, we're going to want a professional broadcast studio. We're going to want a professional music studio, so people can record music there, and we can do live streams out of the center.
Awesome. Well, if you have any
Excellent.
questions about that and microphones, feel free to reach out to you and we can help you.
I would love to just fly you over, and then you can help.
That'd be even better.
Awesome.
We would love to come.
Yeah, I would love to come to Hawaii, and that would be great.
You just got to have a week off, because just coming for 3 days, you don't get the full flavor and the full feel here.
Yeah, well, our other jobs are both remote, so as long as we have an internet connection, we can be flexible.
Yeah, we
And
can definitely.
Wi-Fi is everywhere. Sometimes I spend 2 hours on a beach chair over at the ocean doing incredible projects on the phone, three-way calls. And when I turn off the phone, I realize that was my office.
Yeah,
Yep.
amazing.
Yeah.
Very liberating.
Yeah. All right, Brother Sage. Well, it was awesome to see you again. Let's definitely stay in touch, and we will send the episode over to you when it's all edited, and you can give us your feedback, and then we'll post it live.
Love it, guys. I love you, and thank you for being willing to get together with me and produce something like this.
Anytime, brother.
Love you too.
Have a great night. Bye.
Bye.
All right, I'm going to shoot you some things out in email just a little bit.
Okay, sounds good. I won't post the episode until I include all of that. Thank you.